Hey everybody, Smitty coming to you with your first standard recording. Now remember, these recordings are things that you're going to do prior to our class every day so that you're ready to come into class and learn a little something, something. So today we're going to go over synonyms and antonyms, and this is your very first standard, those things that we talked about, so I hope you're all excited. So let's just review this real quick. A synonym is a word that has a similar meaning to another word, so synonym, similar, and an antonym is a word with the opposite meaning to another word. So antonym, opposite. Cool Cat says cool. Let's take a closer look at this because this is great, Smitty, but exactly why would I care? Well, knowing synonyms and antonyms helps you become a better reader and writer. Learning synonyms and antonyms helps you build your vocabulary, and who doesn't want a bigger vocabulary? And finally, think about how being a better reader, a better writer, and or having a better vocabulary might help you in your future career. We've talked a lot about that, and this is one of those standards that may really help you out later if you're dealing with people and the public. The vocabulary. What's the big deal? There is a very big deal with vocabulary. Vocabulary is the difference between this guy, bah, I like your shoes, so pretty. This guy, those shoes are exquisite and your style is impeccable. The trick is to increase your vocabulary so that you can use better, more expensive words, and you can be this guy instead of the other guy. All right, so let's take a look at examples of synonyms. Some examples of synonyms are words that mean the same are terrified is the same as frightened, scared, or petrified. You could use any of those words and they'd have the same meaning. They wouldn't change your sentence. You could use the word give, or you could say offer, reward, or assign. You could use the word great, which could also be interchanged with powerful, superior, and strong. So let's take a look at what some of those words that we use all the time that we could probably do a better job with if we used a synonym instead. We all use the word hate. It's a terrible word, but we do use it. And a better word for that would be abhor. Abhor is a synonym for hate. Sad has a good synonym as well. The synonym for sad is dejected. Wasteful is a good word, but the synonym is excessive, and you can use that as well. Naive, you've all heard that word, naive. Naive can be used interchangeably with the synonym trusting. Wise can be used synonymously with sagacious, which is a fabulous word, by the way. And brilliant has the synonym ingenious. So either of those words could be used in a sentence without changing the meaning at all. Let's take a look at our antonyms. Tall is the opposite of short, obviously. Straight is the opposite of winding, duh. Below is the opposite of above. So pretty easy. We're just looking at the opposites of words that we use every day. So how about words like admire? That has an antonym, abhor. Now we just learned that word, abhor, on a previous slide, right? We used the word abhor synonymously with the word hate. So we understand that abhor means hate, and obviously it's the opposite of admire. Elegant has an opposite word, crude. If you're going to use the word sweltering and you wanted to find an opposite or an antonym, that would be freezing. The opposite of courteous could be uncivil. Famished could be content as an antonym. And the word malicious, which means to be mean, the opposite could be benevolent, which means to be kind. So you get the idea. Ain't no thing. Let's take a quick look at the power of words and our little animals that we have going on up here. Oh gosh, I can't watch. Let's take a look at both of these passages, or actually both of the parts of this speech. This is a speech given to a town council by a teenager about a curfew, a town curfew. So the first one reads like this. I want to tell you my thoughts about the town curfew. I think it stinks. It's not fair to us kids that don't break the law or get into any trouble. I think you should let us be allowed to be out for as long as I want to. Not very good. Oh gosh, I can't watch. Chihuahua dog cannot watch. You can see why. That's not very good. People aren't going to take that seriously. But what if we choose some really, really good synonyms to replace some of those not so good words? Well, we wind up with this paragraph down here. I hope to convey to you my view of the town curfew. I find it to be highly unfavorable and unfair to those young citizens that abide by the town laws and rules. I strongly urge you to consider revoking the curfew so we can enjoy our freedoms. So you're going to see in the blue sentence, I replaced the word tell with the word convey, which is a very similar word. And instead of sharing thoughts, you're going to share your point of view or your view. Instead of something stinking, you can say that it's highly unfavorable. And instead of saying it's not fair, which is kind of slang, I would say unfair. A very simple fix for a phrase that we use all the time. Instead of saying kids, you're young citizens, and instead of saying don't break the law, you could say abide by the law. Okay? So those are just some examples of how we can use synonyms to improve our writing and, in this case, a speech to get something that we want. And you see our happy seal over there. Now that's what I'm talking about. All right, so keep them safe. You learned a lot of new words right now, and I know I went through them pretty quickly, but you can always watch this video again. You can watch it as many times as you want to. So here's your new words. Use them or lose them. The best way to improve your vocabulary is to use the words you learn. If you just see a new word and forget about it, you're never going to learn it. So use these words. All right, and you're going to see up here we have abhor, dejected, excessive, trusting, sagacious, ingenious, crude, freezing, uncivil, content, benevolent. That was just a few. So go ahead back through the video and see if there are any words that you think you might want to give a try. Don't forget, a synonym is a word that has a similar meaning to another word, and we use them to improve our writing. And an antonym is a word with the opposite meaning to another word. If you want to improve your vocabulary skills, reading comprehension, and writing ability, practice learning similar synonyms and different antonyms, words for words you already use. See you in class.